Welcome back to Too Much Pod Tar. Today is what's today's date? Oh, August 23rd, and we got some more DFS today. Um, we didn't do the main slate like the 1 o'clock, but we're doing the 4:10 slate, which is just 5 games. You got the Rockies, Dodgers, and then Astros, Padres, Diamondbacks, Giants, Angels, A's, and Rangers and Mariners. So it's kind of hard to look when you look at the slate who to attack and what pitchers to go with. But we'll see let me go through. I'll try to roll through this quick and just give some of our picks. But actually, before we do that, we also had Sam Schneider with his waiver wire ad. So I'm going to have him go first with that.
What's up, guys? Sam Schneider here, a.k.a. Buy and Sell You on Twitter. I'll get you back over to the DFS boys in a minute, and they're on a roll. I've made more than a few dollars in the last couple weeks on Alex and Joey's picks, as well as Daniel and Johnny. At this point, I mean, the articles, and we put the article out every day for DFS, and everybody takes turns doing them, and everybody is on a roll right now, which is always a good thing. I mean, last night Daniel Corrigan dropped Tristan McKenzie on us, and he's from Cleveland, so he's a little bit of a homer. But all Tristan did in his major league debut was go out and rack up 10 strikeouts and get a win and drop, like something ungodly, like 39 points or something like that in DFS. So I need to I got to buy Daniel a dinner. But it seems like everybody's going really good, and that's a good thing, man. If you're listening to these, you're catching on, and people that aren't listening are missing out. But I'm here because I know a lot of people that play DFS also play fantasy sports, and specifically fantasy baseball. And I'm the guy that does the waiver wire digs on Sundays. I have an article that comes out every Sunday afternoon that drops. So if you only have that whole Sunday night waiver thing where you pretty much got one shot and done for, it's out well before that. You can check it out on primetimesportstalk.com or on most of our timelines, because we'll usually repost the gambling articles, and I always tag them on gambling Twitter also. But I'm having a pretty good season so far. I've dropped names out there like Eric Hosmer, Dylan Cease, Merrill Kelly, who I just keep over and over because I can't believe his ownership is so low. It's still only creeping into the 40s right now, and it's ridiculous because he's the second best pitcher on his team, but he is just, every time he goes out there, it seems like they have the best shot at Arizona. Has the best shot at winning. He doesn't strike a ton of people out, but he's efficient, keeps the runs down, keeps the whip down. I've also dropped Jairo Diaz, as soon as he became the closer in Colorado after Wade Davis went on the IL, and a bunch of other guys. We've talked about Teoscar Hernandez, who was my breakout pick before the season, and all he's done is gone out and hit the cover off the ball so far. In a season like this, in 2020, it's really, really important to be willing, if you're in, redraft and you're not worried about keepers or anything, it's really, really important to be able to cut bait on the guys that you're just like, he's not coming around. I play in multiple leagues, and I'm dropping guys all over the place that in a 162 game season I probably normally wouldn't. Guys like Steven Matz, he's gone from my team. Wade Davis, I didn't even bother putting him on the IL. He had an awful year last year anyway. He's gone. It's cutthroat. It's 60 games, man. There's no time to just wait around for people. I was already thinking about dropping Benintendi from the Red Sox, and then he went on the IL and just gave me one more reason to be like, okay, cool, you're done, out of here. So you can't be afraid to do it. If you're not in a keeper league, you have to be willing to drop the guys that you normally in a full season would be married to. And I'm going to start including at least one of those or maybe two in the article that drops on Sunday afternoons on Primetime Sports Talk. When I give the waiver wire recommendations, I think I'm going to start doing if you've got this guy or that guy, it might be time to move on. I'm not going to tell anybody how to run their team, and I'm just here to give you some solid pickup advice, but I'll drop some suggestions out there. So, that said, let's get to the real good stuff. I don't want to take up too much of your time when you're trying to pick your gambling lineups. So, we're going to look at this week. I've got a bunch of pitchers, which is great because last week I didn't. Last week I really had a struggle finding pitchers to add on the waiver wire that were meaningful. And not only that, but it's heavy on pitchers, and I've got some 50-50s too. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. And by that I mean guys that are owned by around 50% of rosters across the board. And that's not normally what I go for. I usually go for anything less than 40 is what we're looking for, because you guys know what you're doing. You know a 50-50 guy when you see one. But it's just hard to ignore some of them. And in a season like this, you got to go with the hot hand. So I'm looking at guys like, if anybody missed the boat in your league and didn't see that Joey Bart, finally, the catcher for San Francisco, finally came up, he's an automatic add, because that's a position that everybody needs. If you don't have one of the top 3 or 4 catching players, then you're basically screwed, and you're just doing a revolving door. Well, Joey Bart, even though he's a rookie, immediately slides into the upper tier. Maybe not top 5, of course, but the upper tier of people. And as of right now, while I'm talking, he's still available in 54% of leagues, and that's crazy. I mean, that should have been a before he came up percentage of people just waiting for him to show up. And obviously he's only played, I think, 2 games so far. He's like 3 for 8, something along those lines. But, he's already got his first couple hits out of the way. He's already got his first RBI out of the way. We don't have to worry about that. And he's certainly got the power to put the ball over the fence. So I think there's a lot of good to look forward to there. Especially if you pair him, with a veteran or somebody that's not necessarily in a platoon, but maybe you've got a catcher that only plays 4 times a week, and then the other 3 days you're just without a guy, which is no fun. Obviously, it doesn't hurt you on average or anything like that, but you want to have somebody on that, especially in head-to-head leagues where maybe on Sunday you need to make up some serious ground. You got to have somebody to get in there. But I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Robbie Grossman in Oakland. I mean, at this point, I think you pretty much just have to look at the Oakland roster And anybody in that offense, it's like the White Sox, anybody in that offense that is available and under about 50%, you might want to consider grabbing them. And Robbie Grossman is available in 63% of leagues, and he is smacking the ball around like nobody's business, putting it over the wall. I'm going to talk about Randall Greichuk, which is just he's been one of those guys for the last several years that everybody has said, okay, this is the year he's going to do it. This is the year he's going to do it. This is the year he's going to do it. And he's just been middling the whole time. He just hasn't been that guy. And, it's a short season this year, so who knows what it means for the future. But Greichuk is on fire. He just hit 2 home runs again the other night. For the season, he's batting .293. He's got 6 dongs. And the only reason he's even batting .293 is because he played a doubleheader the other day and went 0 for 8. And in a season like this where everybody's played 25 games, 0 for 8 can still actually hurt your average. He's a must-add, and he's available in nearly 50% of leagues too, which is unheard of, especially in that offense. There's just so much opportunity in Toronto for RBIs or runs scored and so on and so forth. Anyway, we got some other guys we're going to talk about in the article tomorrow. Again, the waiver wire ads. It'll say walking the waiver wire. Always drops on Primetime Sports Talk late afternoon on Sundays. Get you in plenty of time to get ready for waivers. Late on Sunday. We're also going to touch on Brad Keller, who hasn't allowed a run in any of his starts yet this year and somehow is 50% availability. We're going to talk about some guys that have done really well and then just had a slip up, maybe like this week. But they're still worth an ad. And then I've got the deep dives that I usually have going, and the ones that you guys like the best. I've got a couple 20%ers out there that are really, really tasty, especially in a short season like this. So, with that said, let's get you back to DFS, play the games, make some money, check in. If you're in fantasy leagues, grab some guys off of waivers, and as always, ride the hot bat. See you guys. Thanks.
But, thanks, Sam, for that. Definitely take some of his advice on who to add this week. I like some of his suggestions, so definitely he's been pretty good with those. As far this is his first one that he's done on this pod, but he's done the articles as well on Primetime, so he's had some good ones in the past, like Hosmer. I don't know, I can't think of any other ones, but Hosmer was definitely a good one for that. He'll be doing that every week. But let's jump into some pitchers, I guess, for the slate. The first one that I like, Dylan Bundy. He was the top guy on here, 10,000 on DraftKings. He had a rough go around his last start. What was it? 4 earned runs, 2 home runs, and 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and just 4 walks. So it was rough, but other than that, he's been pretty solid. He's out in LA now, or Anaheim. He's been really good. Just like you called before the season about him having a good year, and it's he was always pretty good, but just never had much of a team around him in the Orioles. But now this year he's been off to a good start, facing the A's lineup, which is always a tough lineup to face, but I think he'll bounce back today after his last start. Other than that start, he's gone pretty far into the games before that, and also faced the A's 2 starts ago, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. so he's familiar with the whole lineup. He could definitely do some damage against them, or make it so they don't do damage against him, I guess I should say. But other than him, it's kind of hard to go as you go down just who to really go for, because it's just a lot of guys who have kind of just not had the greatest starts to the season, or they're facing like a good offense. Like second guy on the list is Zach Cranky, who's been pretty solid, but he's facing the Padres, the Slam Diego Padres, who are, they've been on fire, of course, with all the grand slams they've been hitting, which is how they got that name. But so I think Cranky could have maybe his first rough start, because he's been every start he hasn't given up much, but I think this could be his first rough one. So I don't know what you want to give somebody your pitchers. I'm not really sure who to go for even for the second one. It's kind of tough.
I don't know. I'm looking at Fangraphs projections right now, and they seem to really like Cranky, Minor, and Stripling. As far as point production, they have Cranky listed as the most at 15.82, Minor at 13.98, Stripling at 13.37. I mean, I don't really want to throw a pitcher against the Padres right now. So, like, as hot as that lineup is, I don't really care that Cranky's projected at what he is, because he can always have a good game, and he's pitched pretty well recently, but I don't know. I don't really want to go there with Cranky, but Minor is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, even though he's been, he's up and down, he's just inconsistent, but he's pretty interesting. I feel like Seattle can whiff, and he could have a decent outing against them. I think he had a decent outing against them before, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. That was actually one of his decent outings. 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. He didn't pitch long in the game, but he only gave up 1 hit.
Yeah.
So I kind of like Minor, but I don't really like the price. Montas can always be really good, but I don't know, against the Angels, I don't like that either.
Yeah, and he really blew up his last start. 9 runs over an inning and 2/3. So
yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think I'll be going there, but I do like Bundy today. He pitched pretty well against Oakland before, and I think he just had a bump in the road against the Giants.
Yeah. So
I think he can be good. But I kind of like Luke Weaver today against San Francisco, because it's just a matchup being against San Francisco for me, and I don't think Weaver's as bad as what he started out this year. But San Francisco, the 8th worst WOBA versus right-handed pitchers, and I think he can. I think he could have a solid outing, and he's pretty cheap. So that might be where I'm going with my SP2, other than Bundy right now.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm leaning towards too, just especially because of the matchup. The Giants is a really good matchup for anybody, really, at this point. Well, especially except for some days, like the other day I didn't like the matchup for Robbie Ray, he's been so terrible. So I liked actually going with maybe trying to attack him even, but
yeah.
But today I really like that matchup, especially Weaver is a much better pitcher than Ray is, so I think he could shut them down.
I completely agree.
I guess can try to get some hitters rolling through. One of the guy I was looking at was Corey Seager. Dodgers are facing Antonio Senzatella, if I said that right, I think. But Seager's he's only faced him 6 times, but 3 for 6 with a home run against him. And then this year he's been pretty solid, 58.4% hard hit rate, and 5 home runs against right-handers. So he's of late he's been kind of slowing down a little bit. Just 1 for 4 last night, and then the night before as well, 1 for 4. And then 0 for 5 before that. So he's kind of struggling a little bit, but 7 for 31 his last 7 games, last 7 games. So he's not doing the greatest, but I think he can definitely. He's always a good play against a guy who's Senzatella. He hasn't been. He is not that great of a pitcher, I think, and Seager can definitely mash against him. So it's one of my hitters. Didn't really go deep into it, but and then you always pay up for Tatis, who's been on a roll. Machado also been on a roll. Last night he had a home run. And I like. Well, obviously Trout is another one you can always play against. He's facing Montas, of course. So yeah, those are some of the main guys, I guess. But it's kind of hard to see who to attack too. Like the pitchers aren't that deep, but it's also hard to find ones that you can attack.
Yeah, today's not really like a cut and dry day, at least for this afternoon slate. Even the main slate, which for our DraftKings was 7 games, they had more games on FanDuel.
Yeah.
But it wasn't completely cut and dry. But there were spots that you could exploit. There were just a lot of different options you could take. With this slate, it's pretty brutal. It's hard to really find stuff that you like here. One of the hitters I like, you'll probably be happy with this, is Dietrich.
Yeah.
He's hit second in the lineup against Justin Dunn, who really, I don't really think he's that great of a pitcher.
No. I was actually thinking about even maybe doing a stack of or maybe not a full stack, but like a mini stack of the Rangers, like go with Dietrich, Gallo. Like Gallo's been pretty decent lately. Whatever, some of the other guys in there, like who else is in that lineup? I can't even think.
Yeah.
Well, Nick Solak is another one. He's really cheap too, 3,900. So, well, Dietrich's even cheaper, 3,500. So they can go with those guys.
Yeah, definitely. And Danny Santana too. Santana, he hasn't been that great this year, but I mean his hard hit rate is 50%. And he's still and he's got extra base hits in each of his last 3. And he's only 3,500. You can play him at first base or in the outfield. So I kind of get the feeling that he's starting to come around.
Yeah.
And so I like him as a one-off play at his salary, or like including him in those stacks. I really like that. I do like the Rangers today as a stack, but I'm expecting their ownership will be a little bit higher than normal, just because the matchup and lack of targets to stack against, probably.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I guess. I guess this was gonna say with Gallo too. He hits he hits righties pretty well. Which Dunn is. He had 14 home runs against righties last year. 2 so far this year. It was a 902 OPS last year. It's 781 so far this year. So I think Dunn he can mash today. And also this year he's at a 57.5% hard hit rate. So definitely hits the ball hard. Hasn't faced Dunn in his career yet. But I don't know. I don't think about saying him as my home run call, but I don't know.
Who, Gallo?
Yeah, maybe. Well, he's one of my picks, so if he hits a home run, it's still a call, I guess. Kind of. I mean, it still helps.
Yeah.
It still helps you with as far as points, getting points and shit. So.
Yeah, I'd say it helps a lot.
I mean, yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh my God!
If he's one of your... What's that?
Did you see? Yeah, speaking of picks too. Yesterday I picked Jose Abreu. He had 3 home runs, and now today he had another one. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course I saw it.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, it's the Cubs. So yeah, you saw it.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Fucking four straight at bats. Oh my God.
Yeah, 4 straight at bats, and the Sox fans, a lot of them are just keep not now, but they kept complaining when he'd hit an RBI ground out this year. Like, oh, Jose Abreu, all he does is hit RBI ground outs, and it's like he gets the runs in. That's why he's an RBI producer machine every single year. He knows what it takes to get the RBIs in, to get the runs in.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's a part of just the way he hits. Is like he might play it safe once in a while just to put the bat on the ball and get the runs in, but he could definitely mash.
Oh my God, yes.
They better not complain after this series.
No. Yeah, he was. I think it was like 49 points last night in DraftKings, which helped me cash.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was so happy when I went on there and saw that. I was like, holy shit, I got that many points. Holy.
Oh yeah, I bet. I know you sent me a picture of it, and I was like, yeah, wow. Because I didn't know how many points he had until you sent me that. But I was, wow, three jacks. Yeah, that's. I think you're cash. You should be cashing if somebody does that in your lineup.
Yeah. It would be crazy if I had him and what the fuck? I just forgot his name. The guy in the Padres that hit 3. Grisham. Yeah, because if you had both of those guys in your lineup, I can't even imagine how many points you'd have.
Oh hell yeah! Grisham. Did he even have a homer to that point? He was hitting pretty good, but I didn't know if he hit a homer.
I don't know. Let me check. I can look right now.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, you looked first. Beat me.
Sorry, I just was on DraftKings and I clicked over.
Yeah, I was trying to find his name. I couldn't find it for a second. Oh yeah, he has 7 home runs now. So.
Yeah. I guess he hadn't hit one for a little while. That's why it felt like he hadn't hit one yet.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Back to some picks for today. I think on the other side of that, the Texas-Seattle game, if you're not using Mike Minor, maybe he's in a spot to get hit. I mean, it sounds really weird. It's like contradicting yourself, but I kind of like guys like Kyle Lewis who continue to be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lewis has been raking this year. Just a good young hitter. I wouldn't put it past him. He's got 21 and 22 points in his last 2 games. I could definitely see him having a big game here against Minor, especially at that price. He's hitting 3rd in the lineup. Picking a guy that has the platoon favor or, on his side and he's got an OPS over 1,000. I don't think that's a bad option. And then our boy, I know we mentioned the second baseman in Dietrich, and I can't remember if we mentioned another one, but I kind of like Cronenworth again.
Yeah.
The matchup's not great going up against Cranky, but he just continues to hit. And I think he's in the lineup, right?
I haven't seen the official lineup yet for that. I don't know.
I'll go to it right now. He is batting 6th. So pretty much where he's been lately. Grinke throws fastballs. I mean, I don't know what his pitch percentage is this year, but I know he throws a lot of fastballs. And we've seen he can hit that ball. So, as most major leaguers can.
Right.
But Cronenworth's just been smacking the ball. And I think he hit one last night.
Yeah, grand slam. Grand slam.
Yeah, the Slam Diego Padres, just alternating who hits it.
Yeah. Tonight's going to be, I'm going to call another one, Tommy Pham tonight.
Tommy Pham, he's not playing.
No, he's not.
No, he's hurt, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's hurt. But I don't know who else would hit one. It's gonna be.
Where they've been going though, he might be able to hit one from the IL.
Yeah, it'll be somebody weird though. It'll be like I don't know. Like, let's see, what's the lineup? This whole thing will load. Holy shit.
But back to just while you look at that, Cronenworth's only 3.1K, so they just don't want to raise his salary, kind of like Ian Happ, like we've talked about, and
yeah,
he's gonna, if he does anything, you're pretty much hitting, paying off his salary.
You know what? I'm gonna go with. It's probably gonna be Jurickson Profar hits for grand slam today. It's gonna be him.
Jurickson. All right.
Because he's the one, he's one who's like you wouldn't expect. So
yeah, there you go.
He's one guy who hasn't hit one yet. Either him or it'll be Louis Torrens, the catcher who's batting 9th. That'd be weird.
Oh my god, that would be. I think the NL West, or just anybody who faces the Padres from here on out, can just pretty much give up.
Yeah. Well, actually, it could be Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor, yeah.
I mean, who's hit one? Tatis, Machado, Hosmer, Cronenworth. Did Myers hit? I think Myers hit one, right? That was
maybe.
I think that was the second game, yeah. And then, yeah. I mean, Grisham hit a home run last night. Maybe he hit a grand slam today. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I guess my home run call was Joey Gallo though. I don't know if you had one or want to figure one out.
I didn't pick one, but I'll stay in the same game and I'll pick Danny Santana.
Oh.
I think he goes yard today.
So we'll both be looking at that game to see if either one of them happens.
Yeah. Of course, I like the Dodgers today too. We didn't discuss them, but I thought it was pretty obvious that we're.
I mean, they're always an option.
You did. Yeah, I like the Dodgers against Santana, who's been actually pretty solid this year, but that lineup is just too good. It's odd that they have Chris Taylor hitting third today.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just to put a right-handed batter in there. And they gave, so it looks like Pollock's not in there and Justin Turner's not in there today. So I guess I get it. It's just a weird looking lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. Matt Beaty's really cheap too,
Oh,
even though
yeah.
he's hitting at the bottom of the lineup. 2.8K. He's not terrible when he's in there against a right-handed pitcher. Not something I would do a lot of probably, but I could see that being an option.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess those are the Dodgers and maybe even the Padres are kind of stacked. I guess Padres not as much against Cranky, but it's a potential. I mean, the Padres are just so hot that they can hit anybody at this point. So, but,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course I said the Rangers. That's another one I could see.
Yep. Dodgers, Padres, Rangers. Those are I would look at all those teams. I kind of and like I said, the Mariners a little bit. I kind of like the Mariners too
Yeah.
against Minor. Yeah, although I kind of like him as a pitcher today too, so it's like mixing and matching, I guess, with that.
And even though I hate saying it, I could even see the Astros as a stack maybe because they're facing um, Adrian Morin, who's only supposed to go like 50 to 60 pitches. Uh, he won 3 shutout his first time, but once you get past him, the bullpen isn't that great. So the Astros are still good, and they have some good hitters still. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can look at the lineup. Of course, Bregman's still out, so that's without him, it's kind of tougher to use them. But you still got Gurriel, Springer, Correa, Kyle Tucker. So still got some good options as far as that goes.
Yep. But we better probably wrap this thing up because people
Yeah,
gotta get it. Lineup lock is at 3:10, I think. 3:10, yeah.
yeah, that's when it starts. Well, 4:10 my time, but
Oh, sorry. Yeah, East Coast,
yeah,
4:10.
yeah. They'd be like, "Wait a minute, I'm an hour late."
Yeah. Like, what the hell? What?
But yeah, that's hopefully you make some money today. I mean, if you do the afternoon slate, and sorry we didn't get any for the main slate. If you're trying to find some advice for those ones, but if you do in the afternoon, then good luck. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for another slate. I'll be doing the article for that. So I do Mondays, so I'll be doing the article and then doing the pod, of course, tonight at some point. Enjoy your Sunday, and hopefully you can enjoy it even more with some more money in your pocket or in your bankroll, I guess. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so it's just a reminder: you can never have too much pod tar or DFS. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Peace out, and always play Mike Trout.